Welcome to lesson 5 of our Express Yourself in Writing online coaching. I am so excited about this particular lesson because it has to do with a friend that we all have. My one-time best friend, and one that I really like to discard. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. And this friend, I want to give it a name. I don't want to give it a gender, but I just want to make it neutral. So this it is what we call self-sabotage. So this lesson 5 is all about self-sabotage, and I think we're all familiar with self-sabotage. It comes in different forms and different shapes, and I have talked about this in some of the previous lessons, especially in lesson 3. So this lesson 5 is solely dedicated to that friend that we call self-sabotage, one that we have to be very careful of. Before we get started, I'll give you my experience with self-sabotage. 3 years ago, I wanted to do this online class, but I always found a reason not to do it. I always found a reason not to get started. I can't do it now. I am not good enough. I don't have the equipment to do the videos. I don't have time for a YouTube channel. I am busy writing books. I have so much on my plate right now. I will do it next year and all of that. All of those are different forms of self-sabotage I have been in. And I had to eventually kick out self-sabotage, my one-time best friend, kick it out of my space in order to get this video started. It still comes knocking at my door once in a while. Sometimes it will tell you like, oh no, it's so cold outside, you can't get out of the bed now. No, let's do it a little bit later in the evening. How about we shift it to tomorrow? So you may be familiar with some of those or even more. What I want to tell you is that self-sabotage comes in different forms. It manifests itself in different ways. And the danger about self-sabotage is that it is so comfortable. It's like a comforter. It always have understanding for your feelings not to do something. It's always there. It always has arguments for you to not really get into doing what you want to do. Now, let's give self-sabotage a face. If you live in a complex or have seen a complex, then self-sabotage is something similar to a complex. It's something that comes in different shapes, different faces, different streets, different houses, different furnitures, and different tastes, different lifestyles. It all comes in all of that. And that is what makes it so dangerous. It makes it so really sometimes difficult to put your finger on and to eliminate. But the good news is we can fix self-sabotage. We can kick it out of our space. And when we try, the effect is visibly amazing. I know this from my own experience. Okay, so what is self-sabotage and in which forms does it manifest itself daily? Number 1 at the top of the list is fear. When you're constantly afraid of something, you're afraid of getting started, you're afraid of making mistakes, you're afraid of not writing the right book, you're afraid of people judging you, you're afraid of the emotions that come with you trying to express yourself in writing, you're afraid of even sitting on the laptop, and all those fears, they constitute one manifestation of self-sabotage. When I look out for the meaning of fear, it says it is the fear of an impending danger or threat. It may have to do with an experience that you've had in your past or in your life. It may have to do with something that you've heard about. It may have to do with something that you see in the media, so you become afraid. Let me share with you the definition of fear that changed my perceptions of fear forever. Fear is false evidence appearing real. F for false, E for evidence, A for appearing, and R for real. And when you really dig into it, you realize that fear is false evidence. Because when you ask yourself the questions, why, 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 and why, you realize that in the end, there is really nothing you're afraid of. You're afraid of something that you think might happen, but not something that has happened. Yes, a similar situation may have happened in your life in the past, but what you're afraid of is something that hasn't happened, is not yet there, is not a reality yet. So you're just projecting it. So one way to overcome your fear of whatever it might be is just do. Do what it is that you want to do. Grab the fear by its wool, grab the fear by its whole manifestation, and just get down to doing it. And when you do it, you realize that there is actually nothing to be afraid of. Yes, there will always be people who will say things that you don't want, but hey, is that a reason for you to stop pursuing your dream, to stop doing something that is important to you? So one of the ways to conquer fear is just to do what is it that it's making you afraid. And by doing, you break through it. Another way is asking yourself the question, why am I afraid? And when the answer comes, you ask, why does it make me afraid? And then ask all the why questions until you get to the bottom. And the bottom will be an emptiness, something that you just thought could be. So that is it for fear. The second one is very much close to fear. It is anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling. Anxiety is whereby fear is the fear of something potential, something that you may have been familiar with. Anxiety has to do with a feeling. It's a projection. Anxiety is a diffuse form of anticipation of a danger or a threat. It's not even there. It's just a feeling. It's in you. You don't even have any evidence that it's going to do whatever you think it will do to you. You don't even have. It's just that anticipation. And it is something that will really, really stop you from doing what you want to do. When you allowed yourself to be covered under the blanket of anxiety, it will comfort you. It will give you every reason not to take action. It will conquer you. It will take full control over you. So, how do you overcome anxiety? Again, I would say by doing. Ask yourself, why is it that you're anxious? What is making you anxious? What are the evidences? Are they real? Have you gone through such a situation? And if yes, are you sure that what is giving you anxiety is something that is really going to happen? You know, Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it is done. So until you ask anxiety to leave your space, to leave your house, to leave your block, and above all, to stop renting space in your mind, you will never get rid of anxiety. And even when you do, it will always come and go. If you find a way to recognize it when it is there, when it is taking control over you, then you are one step close to eliminating it. Okay, anxiety and fear will rent space in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit and in your soul, and they will stay there. They will hold you captive forever if you don't release them. So the first step to get rid of anxiety is knowing when it is there, knowing how it manifests, and making the firm decision to say, I see you, but hey, we're not friends today. I want you out of my life. And what do? You take action against what it is that is making you anxious, and or you affirm yourself. Write an affirmation that would allow you to get rid of that anxiety. I'm learning how to overcome my anxiety every day. I know my self worth. I know what I'm out for. What I'm out for is more important than anxiety. And I know how to deal with my anxiety. I know how to take control of myself. Those are some of the simple affirmations that you could do to release anxiety. It works for me, it might work for you too. The third form of self sabotage that is a cousin to anxiety, I would say, is excuses. When you find all kinds of excuses not to do the thing that you should be doing, then you are sabotaging yourself. You find excuses not to do it right now. You find excuses to blame someone. You find excuses why now is not the right time. You find excuses. Sometimes you even make yourself sick just because you want to find an excuse. So how do you know that you're finding excuses? If you spend more time, finding excuses why you're not doing a particular thing. If you spend most of the time finding excuses why you're afraid of something, why you are anxious about something, then you are sabotaging yourself. So how do you overcome that? You overcome that by doing exactly the opposite. You overcome that by doing exactly the opposite. Start finding all kinds of reasons why you should overcome fear. All kinds of reasons why you should no longer start finding all kinds of arguments and reasons why accepting excuses is not what you want. Find all kinds of ways, arguments, and words and affirmations to avoid having to find excuses. Train your mind to look for solutions. Train your mind to look for quick actions. Train your mind to identify baby steps that will allow you to start doing the things that you're finding excuses not to do. Does that make any sense? Let me take it over again. In order to overcome making excuses, to overcome that form of self sabotage, take a sheet of paper, take a pencil and a pen, and do this exercise with me. Write down all the excuses that you find when it comes to doing a particular thing. When it comes to expressing yourself in writing, what are the excuses that you have? Write all of them down. And when you write, always skip a line. Make sure to skip a line in between. And when you're writing the excuses, I wish for you to write them in pencil. Okay? Write them in pencil. And when you're done with all of them, I wish for you to now take your pen. It could be a red pen or a blue pen or a black ink pen, whichever thing. It must be a pen. Go in between the line and write out your thoughts. What actions can I take to eliminate that particular excuse? What action can I take in order to do what I want to do instead of finding excuses? What is the truth about this excuse that I have? What is it that what are the baby steps that I should take and can take today? What are the simple things that I can do consistently in order for me to do what I want to do or to eliminate this particular excuse? You want to be careful here. Don't spend your time trying to eliminate the excuses. Spend your time trying to find actions and steps and things that you can do to realize what it is that you're finding excuses for. Does that make sense? That is how I try to eliminate excuses when they come. I fight with them all the time, but the good thing now is that I know when the excuses come. I know when they are legitimate excuses and when they are just a form of self-sabotage. And I can affirm myself. I can tell you I'm the queen of affirmations now. If you have seen my book, Affirmations for Women in Challenging Situations, you will see that in there I have over 25 affirmations, and I have had to affirm myself out of every situation, every challenge that I've been facing. So, and I still continue to do it, and this helps me a whole lot. This is why I will never stop to emphasize the power of affirmations, the power of words, your own words, when it comes to realizing your goal, be it when it comes to expressing yourself in writing or any other goal in your life. The next self-sabotage, the twin sister or brother of excuses, is procrastination. Oh my goodness, procrastination. We all know procrastination, right? It is when you start finding all kinds of excuses to postpone taking action, to postpone doing something, to postpone writing, to postpone saying something, to postpone expressing yourself for whatever reasons that may be. So you start by, for example, oh, I don't feel well today. I'll do it in the afternoon. Oh, no, I think I should rather do this one now and rather than that one. And maybe I should do it tomorrow. I will do it when I am on vacation. I will do it when the lockdown is over. I will do it when I get my laptop back. I will do it when the children are out of home. I will do it when I'm on retirement. I will do it when that divorce goes through. I will do it when I find a boyfriend. I will do it when I'm in a relationship. I will do it when I get a laptop. I will do it when I finally get through the divorce. I will do it when mom visits me. I will do it when I am traveling. You see, all of this and many more. There are many ways through which we procrastinate taking action to actually realizing what we want to realize. And some of these excuses, they really sound real. They make you feel comfortable. They make you feel fine. They make you feel like you're real. And then we tell ourselves, yes, it is human. Of course, it is human. It becomes a form of self-sabotage when you do it every day, constantly, and when it keeps you away from achieving what it is that you want to achieve. Okay. So, how do you overcome procrastination? Here are my 3 quick steps. First of all, make a plan. make your plan. In this case, you have the 24 hours plan. You can use your 24 hours plan to really prioritize your actions, and that will help you overcome procrastination in a way. The second thing is be clear with your purpose. When your purpose or what you want to do is not really what you want, when it is not an absolute priority, it is easy for you to procrastinate. What I have realized over time is that when you have no choice, when you hit rock bottom, when you're in a space where you know you got nothing to fear, you got nothing to lose, then you forget procrastination. When I hit rock bottom, when shit happened, the things that I did, when you read my book, Shit Happens, and you read my chapter on uncomfortable conversations, that was my master plan. It came natural. It came from me. It came from me, not from anyone else. So, what we want to do is always inside of us. If we allowed ourselves to tap into it, we get it done. And I have realized that the mother of creativity, the mother of success, is a place of limitation. When you hit rock bottom and you're in that space where you really got nothing to lose anymore, you don't care about what people say, you start taking your damn action. And that action takes you out of the space of procrastination. Okay, so that was number three. No, number two. So that was number two. Number three is take baby steps. Don't try to do things that are bigger than you. Don't try to run before you learn how to sit down, to stand up, and to take your first step. When you want to go from 0 to 100, you will fall back into procrastination because you will be overwhelmed. So please take baby steps. Identify the baby steps that you can take every day, persistently, consistently, that lead you to where you want to be. They may be very small, but as long as you take them, they take you to where you want to go. And the magic of it is once you see the results, when you see the result of your baby steps, they really encourage you to continue to take action. Okay, so please make sure to have a plan. Number five, the number five form of self-sabotage that we practice unconsciously is blame. When you spend most of your time blaming yourself or blaming someone for things that are not happening, for the actions that are not being taken, for the results that you expect but are not achieving, it means you are indulging yourself in self sabotage. Now, let's look at it really. No amount of blame ever made anything right. No amount of blaming yourself or blaming someone will ever change any circumstances. On the contrary, and to think about it again, when you are blaming yourself or blaming someone, you are nurturing something inside of you, something very unhealthy. You're nurturing an ulcer inside of you that is killing you, not even the person that you're blaming. I think Mandela once said, blame is like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. So, do you want to carry that poison in you? Quite often, the people that we blame don't even know that we're blaming them. And blame is not just a form of self sabotage, it is a form of suicide. And you don't want to indulge in that. So, how do you eliminate blaming yourself or blaming someone else? Number one, let it go. Let it go. Say what happened happened at that time because that is what was possible at that time. That person did that thing to me because that is what they knew at that time. And what I did not do or what I did was the best that I could do at that time, at that given time. So when you acknowledge that, the next thing is you forgive yourself or you forgive the person that you are blaming for whatever it is. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you forget what it is. Forgiveness literally means that you let go that weight, that negative energy that is in you and that is killing you from the inside and sabotaging your possible success. Okay, so when you let go, the next thing you do is you plan something to replace it. Plan something to replace what you've just let go. A positive thought. It could be, again, an affirmation. Affirm yourself out of the blame situation that you're in. I have done an affirmation on how to forgive myself. And if you really want to have that affirmation, if you think it can help you, drop me a note or inbox me. and I will gladly share it with you. There's so many things that I have to let go every day, especially those of you who are writing your personal story, you're writing your autobiography. You will your journey will take you to places, it will take you to people where you will feel yourself really knocked down, where you will get all these negative emotions coming up. It's right. It is right. They're coming up because they want you to see them. And once you see them, it doesn't mean you should keep them. See them, acknowledge them, forgive them, and let them go. Let them go and affirm yourself out of that particular situation. It is extremely important. And because you're in a writing process, you can actually add that affirmation in your writing. Affirm yourself through your writing out of the space of blame. Okay. Number five form of self sabotage is very close to blame. It is the twin sister or the twin brother to blame. It is called self pity or self victimization. When you start blaming someone or yourself, you are automatically, unconsciously putting yourself in a position of self pity and self victimization. And when you make yourself a victim of a circumstance, of a situation, of an event, of someone's action, you give them powers over you. Does that make sense? When you start blaming yourself or blaming a situation or blaming someone for whatever it is, you give that situation, that event, that circumstance, or that person so much powers over you that they begin to control your actions. So, and no amount of self-pity will get you to where you want to go. You will always find people to sympathize with you. You find people to sympathize with you when you are in a space of self-pity or self-victimization. They will pretend as if they understand you. And some of them will actually understand you. Why? Because you touch a button in them. You touch a button in them that makes them have the feeling that they have a partner in you, an associate, an accomplice in you. And before you notice, if you're not careful, you will surround yourself with those kind of people. And you will all indulge in self-pity. You will tell me your story. I will tell you mine. I will add, someone will add on it, another one will add on it. And before you realize, you'll be sitting on a bunch of negative feelings with everyone competing to be the one with the worst experience. Is that the space you want to be in? I don't think so. It doesn't make you healthy. So, how do you eliminate self victimization and self pity? Number one is become conscious of the fact that people who tell you the same story and who want to top your self pity story are not good for you. Mm-mm. Eliminate them. Don't hang around with people who have the same or worse stories because that will not help you out of the situation. Okay. Instead, that's number two. Surround yourself with people who want to challenge the legitimacy of you being in a space of self pity or self victimization. It doesn't matter what happened in your life, whether it's a divorce, the loss of a job, whether it's the loss of the passing away of someone, whether it is the loss of an opportunity, whether it is the loss of your home, whether it's about the children leaving home, whether it's about the love of your life who has abandoned you, there is no reason for you to stay in a space of self-pity. Sometimes when relationships are complete, we don't even realize it, and we want to continue to keep them. You want to talk about how to get yourself out of the space of self-victimization. If you're in that space and you want to know how to let things go so you can get out of the space of self-victimization, please inbox me. I have a lot to share with you. I have been there. I'm not preaching. I've been there. I'm sharing my experiences, the things that helped me, and I believe that they could help you too, if and only you are ready to take action. And some of the action that I may be suggesting to you may not be easy. It may not be what you're looking out for. But if you're really out for that journey that will take you out of a space of self-pity and self-victimization, then drop me a note, then we need to talk, and I will make the time that it takes in order for me to help you out of there. Okay. The number 7 manifestation of self-sabotage that you want to be careful about is expectations. When you expect people to do things and the things are not being done, when you expect things to happen and they're not happening. You're expecting your clients to pay and the payment is not coming in. You're expecting your children to do this and they're not doing. You're expecting your partner, your lover, or your husband to do certain things, to behave in a certain way, and they're not behaving. When you expect the sun to shine and instead it's raining, when you expect the government to take certain actions and the actions are not coming, when you indulge in expectations that are not being fulfilled, the next thing you do is you make yourself a victim. You indulge in self pity. You start dishing out blame. You start finding excuses. You start procrastinating. And before you know, you are in a space of anxiety and fear takes over you. Do you see how all of these are interconnected? Having expectations that cannot be fulfilled is a form of self sabotage. It is always good to have expectations. Yes, it is healthy, but you want to be careful and mindful of the kind of expectations that you have and the people towards whom you're having your expectations. How realistic are these expectations? And what are your plan Bs and plan Cs and plan Ds if these expectations do not manifest? What is it that you want to do? What can you contribute to making your expectations become realities? What are the powers that you have? Again, when you put all your expectations in people, you give them all power over you. Let's come back to the space where we are. You have made the bold decision to express yourself in writing, and you are expecting Beatrice to coach you through the process. Beatrice can only give as much as she can. So the rest is on you. The result of what you're taking out of this space is going to depend on the actions that you take, not on the expectations that you put on me or on yourself. Expectations are our projection. We project something out there. And this, for this projection to become a reality, we need to take action. And in order, and the kind of actions that really lead to results are the actions that we take, the actions that we are capable, able, willing, and ready to take in order to make those expectations become a reality. What comes from other people, what comes from outside is just an addition. Just let it be the cream on your cake, but you will have to bake the cake by yourself. And you know what it takes to bake a cake. You will have to find the ingredients. You have to do the correct mixture. You have to know the proper temperature in your oven in order to get the kind of cake that you want to have. So I will see you in lesson 6. And lesson 6 is all about how you can structure your first masterpiece. Until then, stay creative and let your creative juices flow.